I'd like to now ask Dr. Richard Mercer to address Convocation.
Okay, for starters, none of that stuff Peter said about me was true. That's all stuff I put on Wikipedia like 5 years ago, and now people believe it. Distinguished guests, Mr. Chancellor, friends, family, and fellow graduates, it is a huge and unexpected honor to be here with you today, graduating with you. Like so many of you when I was growing up, so many people who are close to me, my teachers, my family, they told me time and time again about the importance of a good education. They told me time and time again that the secret to success is a good education. But of course, it takes hard work and dedication. University degrees, they just don't fall from the sky. Luckily, honorary degrees do. I'm also grateful that my degree, unlike yours, does not come with a massive student debt. It does, however, come with the title doctor, which is something I think that I will get used to as time goes on. When I was driving here today, I was talking to my mother on the telephone, and I was telling her that I was, pulling into Hamilton, and how happy I was to be pulling into Hamilton because I've always been treated so well here. I hosted the Junos here many years ago. It was one of the greatest audiences that I ever got to perform in front of. I've shot at McMaster University. I got in a snowball fight with Sheila Cox and got in a few good slaps. So I've always had a good time, and so I was telling her how excited I was to be here today at McMaster, receiving this honorary degree. And she said, "Rick, do you believe that receiving this honorary doctorate will change you?" And I said, "Oh God, no, Mom, no, of course not. But it's Dr. Mercer now." So my job here today, with all the power invested in me as an honorary doctor, is not to ask you to turn your head and cough, which I thought was the original assignment, but it is to inspire you in 5 minutes or less. And they made a big point of saying that you got to do that in 5 minutes or less. Can you do it in 5 minutes or less? Apparently I have a reputation of not shutting up. But I can do many things in 5 minutes or less. Every week on my show I rant. That's what I do, I rant. Every single week. In fact, it's the favorite part of my week. Anger is my cardio. I rant about many, many different things. Sometimes I rant about what I think is wrong with the government. Other times I rant about what I think the government is doing wrong. I never really run out of subjects, but occasionally, sometimes I ignore the government altogether and I rant about what I think is great about this country. And if that was my job today, to rant about what is great about this country, I think I wouldn't have to say a word. I think all I would have to do is point at you. Because believe me, when I say this, and I don't want this going to your heads or anything, but looking down at you, you're one good-looking bunch. Yeah. The future's not just bright, it's hot too. And so while I won't presume to inspire you, what I thought I would do is I would talk about a little bit about inspires me. And I thought that that may be appropriate because what inspires me is my work. And I thought it might be appropriate because I think perhaps some of you are at a point in your life for the first time you're thinking about getting a real job. Turns out that's true because all the people in the back are now nodding. And they're still nodding. Well, the cliche is you figure out what it is that you love and then you try to figure out how to make a living at it. And you have won. And that is absolutely true. If you go to work on Monday and you like your job, it doesn't matter how much money you're making, you've won the lotto. Unless, of course, you want to be a poet, and that's kind of ridiculous. You'll have to do that on the weekends and get a real job. But for the majority of you, because you're living in such a great country with so many opportunities, because you're graduating from such a great school, with patience, you'll be able to have a career that you love. And I'll tell you why I love my career. I love my career because every single week, I get to travel to a different part of this country. I get to meet new Canadians. I get to have another adventure. Every single week, I fall more and more in love with the country. And if there is anything that I wish for you, it would be that. that you get to know your country. And I know it's easier said than done. One of the biggest problems we have in this country is our size. We are huge. We are a big country. And as a result, it makes it difficult we are a country that, how should I put this? We are a country that's difficult to get intimate with. You know, you go to any airport in this country, it is cheaper to fly to Florida or Arizona than it is to fly 2 provinces over. It is cheaper to fly from Toronto to Paris, France than it is to fly from Toronto to St. John's, Newfoundland. It is cheaper to fly to the moon than it is to fly to the Cali. Okay, that's an exaggeration, but you get my point. My point is that as a result of our vast size, so many Canadians don't get a chance to experience what it is their country has to offer them. And that's a real problem because we live in a country where national unity can never be taken for granted, and it certainly can never be guaranteed. You know, there's always been regional differences in this country, there always will be. But as of late, so many people in this country are being pitted against one region against another. It's East versus West, it's rural versus urban, it's French versus English, it's straight versus gay, it's the urban educated elite, which is now you, versus your members of parliament. Well, suddenly the idea of nation building and commonality is passé. Now this might help get certain people elected, but it's no way to run a country. And this is where your place comes in. This is now your job. As young Canadians, I would encourage you as you embark on your career to make a point of not just visiting other parts of the country, but living in other parts of the country as well. Because with that experience and knowledge will come a pride of ownership that you will never let go. So that is my advice to you, the graduating class of 2010. Please get intimate with Canada. And as with any intimate relationship, be safe. And by safe, I mean always carry a second copy of a government-issue photo ID in your luggage in case some hoser steals your purse or your wallet, you need to get it paid the next day. So once again, it is a huge honor to graduate with you. Please get intimate with your country, and remember, wherever you are in this country, whatever you're doing, if there's an election, please vote, because so few of us do. Thank you very much. It is an honor to graduate with you.